Hello everyone, Hamas28 here, and today we're back in the world of Reclamation. So, as many people have pointed out, you can use the Ritual Diviner to build the rituals. The mod pack even said so, but it didn't explain how exactly it was supposed to happen, it just kind of did it. So thank you everyone in the comments for telling me exactly how to do it. A lot of great tips, especially from the last couple episodes, because I went back into the demon realm and I got ourselves one of these guys. We come in here, a wither skeleton spawner. Let's see. Yep, there's the wither skeletons. They fall into the water. They fight the water, which is not supposed to happen. If I leave, they're going to lose aggro and then they should fall down. And then they fall right onto this new altar I built, so they could be sacrificed for more life essence. But this is a very manual process. We don't want to stand here and manually slay these mobs. We want to use, where is it? The Well of Suffering to attack mobs within its damage zone and put the LP in a nearby blood altar. So I probably have to put some glass in here so they can't see me, but they'll still spawn because the spawning radius is, I believe, like this block right here. So we put some glass. They should still spawn. They don't see me. They fall in the water. They go down. Perfect. Just like that. This will let me AFK and keep the spawner turned on. That way we can generate a lot of blood. Grab that, and then as you remember, you just put your blood orb on there and it starts absorbing it. Now to actually do the Well of Suffering, we need 40,000 LP, and we're currently at 50,000. Perfect. Let's grab this. Can I use iron swords to make iron, or should I just void these? Use it for the summon Wilden. You can use it to make an iron nugget. So I guess it's useful for the coal and the Infernium essence, but other than that, not really. Now, they fall down here and they live. So, how big is this ritual? Looks like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it looks like it's 3 blocks tall. Is that enough room right here? 1, 2, 3. Should be enough room to fit right there. So let's go ahead and mine this out. And let me grab some cobblestone to block this for now. Let's grab these blank runes. We're going to leave one right here for the Master Ritual Stone. And let's see, let's actually do one lower. So we'll take out this one and put it right here. Now, as everyone had told me, oh, I erased it. As everyone had told me, you take this guy, you go to the Well of Suffering. Well of Suffering. Where is it? Well of Suffering. There it is, Well of Suffering. And then you just, there we go. It pops it up, and then you right click this, and it places all the blocks. Now, it looks like we do actually have to dig out the rest of this dirt, because it's in the way. So let me dig this out. I thought it would replace the blocks, but I guess not. We can go ahead and replace this grass later. Let's see, is that enough? We have to get rid of this one over here as well. And that should work. Right click. I know the place block at right here. Can't tell. Okay, let me get rid of all this dirt here. And there we go. It's placing the rest of it. And this is how you're supposed to do it. You don't need to build it manually by hand. I was just being silly. Let me go ahead and grab that dirt. The rain is annoying, so I'll see if I can sleep through the night and get rid of the rain for you. Okay, so I got rid of the rest of the dirt. Now let's go ahead and activate this guy. we're just gonna need a weak activation, the weak blood shard, right? That's what you need? Yeah, that's a blood shard. I need the activation crystal. So now if we come over here, we should have everything we need to turn this on. A rush of energy flows through the ritual. Nothing's happening. Master Ritual Stone, 36, 40,000, LP, weak activation crystal. I mean, it did say it. Why isn't it doing anything? You feel a push, but you're too weak. Okay, so it used all the essence, which is odd. I wonder why it didn't activate. Because we built it correctly, 30 weak activation crystal, 40,000 LP. We had 50,000, so it should have worked. Let me sacrifice this guy. Let's see, so we're gonna need 30,000 to activate this. So let me go ahead and do some exsanguination on myself and get ourselves up to 50,000 once more. Should be pretty quick through this one, but I want this to be set up so we can get it automatically. Okay, there's definitely enough LP available. Maybe it's because I walked away. So let's stay on top of this when we do this. A rush of energy flows through the ritual. And nothing's happening. Am I missing a step? Was there something else I needed to do? Because it's not doing anything. Unless it is doing something? Attacks mobs within the damage zone. All mobs within the area. I mean, is this what it's supposed to look like? I mean, it clearly used the essence. Huh. Because this one made a thing, so I thought it would do the same thing here. Let's see. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me double check. Yeah, they consume LP from the soul network. That's fine. Tinkerer. This is just to define it. Am I doing something wrong here? Activate. Activation crystal. Yada yada. Place it. Doesn't have to be bound to your network. All rituals respond to redstone signal. You can combine this with automation. Huh. That's so weird. Is this what's supposed to happen? Let me find a video to double check, because I would assume it does the same thing like this, right? Okay, so I looked up a video, and it looks like it is working, because you can see it does show the area it's going to damage mobs in. It's not as fancy as this one. So let me put this away. How do I make this stop? There we go. So now we just need to replace our blood altar here. So we'll go ahead and put this guy, let's see, let's just put it right here. This is the wrong stones. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't need the middle one, but I just put it because I have it. So now if we right click this guy, damage alter, this one, nope. Okay, I think that should do it. Yeah, damage within this area. The area to search for the altar. So if I do this there, first block, second block. Okay, so that should see the blood altar, so it should put it in here. So now if we take our, oh, I left it in this one. Take our magician's blood orb, put that in here, and we wall this off with some cobblestone. like so. Let's see, they shouldn't be able to escape that. So now when the wither skeletons spawn, they should start taking damage and depositing blood automatically. Let's see if this works. Okay, looks like it's working. We could check that here with the divination sigil. 1439, and it is increasing. Awesome. And it works. A little bit loud. So thank you everyone in the comments for letting me figure out how to do this. And the range is pretty big, so also mobs that enter from over here and just wander over here will also take damage. But this works pretty well. Now we can improve the efficiency by changing these blood runes into the ones of sacrifice. As said over here, let's see. Ritual, blood runes, rune of sacrifice. Yeah, we can upgrade these to runes of sacrifice to get an additional 10%. You can use that. You can reinforce them. Once we find Hellforged parts, we can make the rune, the upgraded version, for a 20% bonus. But that does work. And now we have a much easier way to get LP other than hitting ourselves over and over again, which is quite nice. I wonder if there's a way to keep the spawner on forever so I don't have to be near it. Because if I search spawner, that's nice, type that spawner, interact with spawn egg, yeah, we don't have that. Solium spawner from mystical agriculture. Interesting. So can I use this as a spawner that we could just run? Let's see, this is mystical agriculture. Did they have a book, mystical agriculture? I don't think so. Let's see, mystical agriculture. I don't think they had a book. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have a book. But I'm assuming that's what this is, and it's not too expensive. Solium ingot, a machine frame, really cheap, and then 2 wither skeleton skulls. Since I have the wither skeleton spawner, it should be easy enough. Because I just want this to be able to run 24/7 without me having to be there. It's nice that I can AFK there when I need to, but we want it to be a little bit more autonomous than that. But hey, at least it works. And now that we have that going, next I want to start working on, I want to get the Certus Quartz seeds, because it'll let me get Certus Quartz a lot faster than using the budding Certus Quartz. But for that we will need a singularity, and the singularity comes from the matter condenser. But the difficult part is going to be getting the 250k ME storage component. That's going to take a lot of resources, as you can see here. It's not that bad, it's just going to be a lot of, what is this? Yeah, a lot of Certus Quartz to craft it. But right now we just don't have access to a lot of Certus Quartz. In between episodes I did build a couple more, what was that? Oh, it's the amethyst column. I built a couple more blocks, just the energy acceptor, a battery, and then I placed the controller along with some Flux cables. But getting the Certus Quartz is really, really slow. You can make this faster using the growth accelerator, this one here. But as you can see, to make it, you need a Flux block, some Flux cables, and some iron, and then this is going to need power. Luckily, Applied Energistics does have a guide for pretty much every single block. So it's very easy to set this up. You just place it next to it. But to actually power this and have it automatically capture, we're going to need Annihilation planes as well. Annihilation plane, enchanted with Soak Touch. And these are going to take Flux crystals and an Annihilation core. These will take a logic processor, Flux does, and nether quartz. And I didn't mention it yet, but if my voice sounds a little weird, I am quite congested. I felt fine yesterday, But then I woke up today and my nose was like a waterfall. So I'm not sure what happened there. So luckily I did take some time to harvest some more Certus quartz. I turned some into dust, some into flux crystals, but we're going to run out of this very fast, which is what I thought was a little bit annoying. Even though that seems like quite a lot, this is only going to last for a couple machines and maybe some cables. So let's go ahead and grab these. And there should be a book for Applied Energistics. Well, there is the guide, but I forget how to open it completely, because if you take a look, everything accesses the guide. Oh, there we go. What I really like about Applied Energistics is that because they have it in here, they make it really easy to set up stuff. So if I look here, here we go. Harvesting the Certus automatically is described here. So you can go in. Can I zoom out on this? Why is it so zoomed in? So they show you an optimal setup for building these kind of machines. So you can see this setup takes 4 growth accelerators, an Annihilation plane, a storage bus, 2 storage buses, and then some smart cables and a barrel. So we're going to go ahead and build this setup. That way we can start growing Certus quartz in the quantities we're going to need. And then they tell you exactly how it works and how to configure it, which is very nice. So to build this, we're going to start with 1 growth accelerator. We're going to need some cables. This one, you don't actually need too many different colors. As you can see to the main network, this is the only one that really matters. This is going to take up 1 channel. This one, since you're disconnected with the quartz fiber, this entire setup only takes 1 channel. If you don't know what channels are, definitely look up a video on Applied Energistics. It can get a little bit complicated, but for the most part, it's pretty simple. And for beginners, you really should only need the original 16 or so channels that one ME controller gives you. And that's also why I built these ones into the ground. Is this done? Let's see. Certus, quartz, bud. No, it's just a cluster, not a large. In my Liminal Industry series, people ask me why I always put these in the ground or surround them. And that's because since these are flawed, every time they grow the bud, it has a chance to degrade the certain quartz to the next level, devolve it to the next level. So when you surround it on all sides, it can only grow on one face, and that actually reduces the odds that you get it grown, but it devolves it. You want each one to actually give you the Certus quartz without devolving it too much, and if you expose all the faces will grow, but they can all grow to maybe large and medium, and they might not ever reach the full size because it'll degrade the block too much. So first thing we're going to need is the growth accelerator. We're going to need a flux block for this. And the the guide showed 3 of these. Where's that zombie? Oh, he's up there. Showed 4 of these, so let's make 3 more. And I'll go ahead and sleep through the night so we stop hearing these zombies. So we're going to need 4 flux blocks, along with 8 quartz glass, which is just Certus quartz dust and glass. 4, and then we need 1 more set. Then we're going to need the flux ME cables, which is just a quartz fiber and 2 flux crystal, and then these quartz fiber cables are made from glass and Certus. So we're going to need 3. How much do we need for this? We need 2 times 4, so we need 8. 4 and 8. It's a lot of steps to craft it, but luckily you do get quite a lot from each craft. And now let's make our accelerators. Grab the rest of our iron, the rest of the flux blocks, store that in there, and done. Now I do believe if I place one, it should be able to tick both, which is why I set them up in a line like this. 2, 3. We're gonna have to dig out here. I'm also gonna have to move the placement. As you could see, there's this little purple dot. That's where the power goes in. And I don't want the power to be on the top. I need it to be not on the top. I need it to be on the side. Like that. Break you, break you. Here and here. There we go. And they do outline that in the guide. Let's see, they put it right, yeah, to power it manually, it only connects to cables on the ends where the pink flux greebles are, and that's what these are. So now, we're going to need some annihilation planes. Actually, just one annihilation plane. That's going to take 3 flux crystal, 2 iron, and an annihilation core, which is a logic processor, which will take printed silicon and the printed logic circuit. So for these, we could just throw in our 1 dust into, I believe, the inscriber. How do I make silicon? Silicon. I forget where. Oh, this one we just cook it. So let me cook this real quick. We only need 1. I went ahead and made 6. And now we're going to use our inscriber here with our silicon press. Why isn't this working? Oh, there it goes. We only need 1, so we'll just take it out once it's done to make 1 printed silicon. And then we're going to need the logic press, right? Yes, the logic processor and gold. Throw that in here. And that's going to make the annihilation core once we put all of this together. Oh, we need flux dust. Oh, I have to combine these. I forgot. So now we combine all of that together, and that's why I also made extra infused alloy last episode. Take that out. 1, 2, 3. Put that in there. Then we're going to need 1 flux dust, which you could take your flux crystal, put it into the inscriber, and it will crush it into dust as well. Like so. And now we can make the annihilation core, and you get 2 of them, which is quite convenient. Let me put away those. We don't need them right now. And now we should be able to make the annihilation plane. Got it. Let's see, I'll probably have to dig out, because the controller is right here, so I probably want to dig out the wall here. That's almost done growing. Or is that done growing? Large. No, I think it says cluster is the fully grown one. So now, if we come back to Certus Quartz, getting started. Let's see. I forget how to keep it open so you can just keep going back. Oh, here we go. So, annihilation plane. We're going to need 2 storage buses and then just some cables to run the power. And storage buses are pretty easy as well. ME storage, tag storage. Let's see. You can ignore the ones from extended AE. These just allow for extra like filtering options. You can just use the original applied Energistics one. And for this, you're going to need, if you try to get this one, it shows this. You have to click into that and click the block. And then for the block, you need an annihilation core and a formation core. So that's why it's nice that they build in pairs, along with glass and some iron. And for the formation core, it's going to take Certus quartz, flux dust, and a logic processor again. So if we come back in here, let's grab our silicon press and our logic press. Silicon with silicon. Grab some gold. We're going to need a bit more iron for this. Printed silicon. Logic with the gold to make the logic press. Like so. Grab another, which one is it? Infused alloy. And put it all together. To make our logic processor, and now we can make the formation core. Actually, we're missing a flux dust. Throw that into the inscriber. And it's done. You can also speed it up with the acceleration cards, as you can see here. It also increases the power draw, but it makes it so much faster. It's really nice to do. They're just a little expensive early on. Like, I believe acceleration takes a blank. Yeah, you could see it takes multiple diamonds. You get 2 advanced cards out of it, but then you then have to combine it with fluix. So they're a little expensive early on. Once we can start growing diamonds, it should be a lot easier. Okay, and now that we have the formation core, we can go ahead and make the storage bus. Oh, it's right there. I mean the ME interface. And then we can use this to make the storage bus. So we're going to need 2 pistons, 1 sticky, 1 regular. Need some more wood. And sadly, I can't. Actually, I think I can use archwood. Because I think that's what it's showing. Let me see. If I do 1 more, well, let me use archwood for this. Okay, it does. Cool. Let's go ahead and make another one. Combine it with a slime ball to make it sticky. And now we can make the ME storage bus. And it's all that just to make 1. So we do have to do this twice, because you do need 2 storage buses, which means I'll need another Annihilation core, so I'll come back in a second. Alright, sorry for the little pause there. So, I got ourselves a barrel, our second ME storage, and also some wool, because to get this all together, we're going to need to make some Fluix ME smart cables. They're not required, but they're really useful, because the smart cables show you how many, how many channels are being used. So let's go ahead and make a couple of these. They're pretty cheap, although we're going to need some more quartz fiber. Throw that in there, make some more of these. And then I'll save 1, because I think we do need 1. Then you just combine this with wool to make the Fluix ME covered cable. Grab that, and then finally you combine that with redstone and glowstone to make it a smart cable. Put that in there, glowstone and redstone, and you're ready to go. So in order for this to function, we could just go ahead and throw this cable right here and it'll connect, and you can see it's showing 0 of 8 channels being used. We're going to grab our barrel. It's going to sit back here. We're going to grab our Annihilation plane and our storage bus. Now the Annihilation plane is going to go here. Then the storage bus, I believe 1 goes on this side, and the other one on this side. Let me double check that. But in Quartz, automatic, let's see, storage bus, cable, like so. Let's see, do we have any, can use some white dye. 1 there. You can use this to dye the cables. How do you dye this? Oh, you need to surround it, that's why. So we'll make these white. And then I'll just take this one off. Where's my pickaxe? Oh, it's in my hotbar. So we'll use these white ones here. Break the floor over here. And then you just follow the wiring procedure as it shows in the guide. So you're going to do this little setup here. So white, 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 like so. Oh, we can actually move this one then. Grab that. Where is our little quartz fiber? Right here. And then this is where the different colors come into play. If you place it like that, it will connect. Because this is white and this is blank. Blank will connect to it. So we actually need to make... There's actually a way you can get around this without making another set of cables. If you place a quartz fiber like so, and then place the cable, they won't connect. They connect to the quartz fiber, but not actually to the smart cable. So go ahead and grab that there. And then you can see it breaks it and puts it into the crate. And you can see it's breaking it as soon as it grows. That's not what we want. So you actually have to filter this Let me grab this guy and right click. How do you filter this? Let me see. Hold G. I almost forgot about this. If you don't filter it, it is just going to keep breaking whatever grows there. No GUI to configure. Oh, here we go. You need to filter the storage bus to the crystal. So you right click this storage bus, like so. So now this Annihilation plane will only break it once it's fully grown. So you can see now that it has grown a little bit, it won't break it. We connect the rest of this with our cables. And you can see now it grows a heck of a lot faster, and it deposits it in there. Now sometimes it is a bit useful to have it break earlier to get the dust, so you don't have to do the extra processing. But this is the very basic setup of how to make the Certus Quartz farm, and it's fully automatic. You never have to check this yourself, but there is a caveat. Because you can see the Certus Quartz was flawed, now it's damaged. There is another setup to, oh, wrong one. There is another setup to make it replace it as well. I believe it's under the advanced setup. Under here, let's see. Advanced Certus farm. Fully integrated. Instead of having a big stockpile and manually refreshing them. Yeah, here it is. So you can see this is a complex build, because if you zoom out a bit and move this, zoom out a bit more, you can see it has a bit more stuff. Because it only uses 3 growth accelerators. It has an extra Annihilation plane here in the back. And then it has this interface here that is set to keep 1 flawed budding Certus Quartz in itself and has a crafting card. Because the way this is going to work is, I believe there's more down here. Yeah, you can see it's a lot more complicated. But essentially, the way that works is this crystal is eventually going to break. And when it does, you don't want to have to come back over here and replace it every time. You want your ME system to do it for you automatically, and it takes a little bit more setup. But as you can see, that does take a lot more work and a lot more room, and we have a lot more AE stuff that we're going to have to craft before we even get to that. So I'm going to leave this for now. I'll probably set up the advanced one in between episodes. But now we can start growing Certus Quartz automatically. Someone told me you can also have this guy collect your Certus Quartz as well, but you run into the same issue of that you have to manually come back and replace the Certus Quartz block. So either way, you to automate it, you just have to automate crafting this guy, which isn't too difficult. As you saw, you just have to throw the block in the water with the other components. I'll leave that challenge up to the viewer to solve. Let's see, and that's going to finish off this stuff here. Smart cables, ME interface. And if there's applied Energistics does get a little bit complicated. It took me a while to fully grasp how to use it effectively. So if you have any topics on it that you think I need to cover, feel free to let me know. Then to actually use this as a storage system, we're going to need the ME Drive, which will take 2 engineering processors and a bunch of iron. I think we're low on iron. I don't even see it in my inventory. So let's go grab some iron and get that started. We're also going to need 2 diamonds, I believe, right? For the engineering presses? Yeah, 2 diamonds. How many do we have on ourselves? 0. So we're going to have to craft some diamonds as well. Luckily, we have tons of amethyst, so it's pretty easy to get them. Grab our iron essence and make some iron. It's a little annoying that this backpack is so big, because sometimes I end up clicking on the box instead of what's in the hotbar. Okay, should be enough iron for the foreseeable future. And I'll be back once we have some diamonds. It will take a little bit to convert the diamonds from amethyst, so I'm just going to skip that for you guys. Alright, we got our 2 diamonds. Let's throw these into this guy with the engineering press. 1, 2. This will probably be the next thing I automate. You can automate all the inscribers pretty easily. There's also it even shows you how to do it. I don't know why it kicked me out. Why does G kick me out? It's so odd. There we go. I think it has it right here. Name press. No, it's probably under example setups. Cell charger, charger automation, processor automation. Here it is. They show you the layout of how to build it, and here it is. Let me zoom out a bit. So it is a little bit complicated, but it's not really that bad. And building this is really neat because, as you could see, it uses one channel for this entire system. And the way it works is that it inputs your items into this barrel, and you filter the storage buses such that the inscriber only takes the item it's been filtered to take, and it makes crafting the cards pretty easy. Now, the only downside of this setup is that you can see it all gets bottlenecked at the end here, to where that's where like the final processing is done. So it's good to make early game, but where is it? It's actually under this one. Yeah, here it is, the circuit slicer. Because this mod pack includes extended machines, you can make the circuit slicer, which essentially does the work of the inscriber, but has way more uses. As you can see here, this one lets you use a full block to make 9 of them at a time. So it's a lot more useful than setting up that one. It does work, but extended AE lets you do stuff way faster. So let me grab the silicon press here. Put that in. We're going to need 2 engineering presses and then 2 more infused alloy. So see, it's a good thing I made 8 of these earlier. Saves a lot of time. Grab the printed silicon. Put all of that inside. Let it run. Let's see. We shouldn't be too far from growing diamonds because we can make Supremium. As you can see, it's just an imbued slate and we can craft these now. The issue is that to make a diamond, we're going to need Mystic Ungent, Ears Token, and a Mark of Mastery. And this one takes a Creeper Heart, but when you click on it, you can see it has uses, but it doesn't say how to craft it. And it said, the wiki said it drops from creepers, but I haven't seen any drop. And if it's a drop from creepers, you would think if you type in creeper and go to the, let's see, mob drops, that it would show up here, but you can see it's not there. So I'm not actually sure how to get the creeper heart. If you know how, feel free to leave that in the comment, because Googling hasn't yielded how to make that yet. So I'm unsure what I have to do. So now that we have our 2 engineering processors, we can go ahead and craft our ME drive. Oh, we need 2 flux cables to make our ME drive, like so. We'll go ahead and throw this guy right here. And let's see, these are Fluix cables, so it's not going to tell you how many channels are being used. But that should be fine for now. And then there's only one more piece we're going to need to finally finish this off, and it's going to be the terminal. Now, it says you could use any terminal, but the one you're going to need is the ME crafting terminal, which will take a calculation processor, a crafting table, and an ME terminal. And that's going to take a logic processor, an illuminated panel, and then one of those cores of each kind. So let's go ahead and craft this. Logic processor is going to be gold. Looks like we're going to need more silicon as well. That's going to be the engineering press. Put that in there. Not the engineering press. Which one is this? This one. We're going to need a calculation. We're also going to need more infused alloy. Let's see. We're going to need more of this as well. We do have 1 annihilation core, so we just need to make 1, 2, logic processor gold. Okay, not too bad. So I'll be back in a second once we have all of these components, and we'll put it all together. Alright, now we have all the components ready to assemble. Put together the ME terminal. Then put together the ME crafting terminal. Done. And then I believe if you want to make it a block, how do you make it a... Oh, that's funny. Since it's a crafting, it literally shows you every single crafting recipe. That's not what I want. I thought there's, because I'm not a big fan ME crafting terminal. I thought there's a block version of it. I guess not. At least not in this pack. Because I don't like how it just sticks out like this. But I mean, I guess it works. So you'll just go ahead, place that here, put it like that, and now you can access everything, which right now is only 24 Certus quartz because it's seeing everything in this barrel. We're going to have to add some drives to the ME drive to actually get some more storage. That's done. But ME drives can be a little expensive. ME drive. That's not what we want. We want a storage disk. That's not it either. What is it called? If I search 16K, that should bring up some. portable item cell, source cell, storage cell. Is it this one? I believe it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. They look so different from what I'm used to, because they used to look a lot different. So let's see, that's a 4K, 1K. The 1K will take 4 Certus Quartz and a logic processor. And this one can store how much? It's a 1K component. 1K. So if you take a look, so the 1K storage cell can store 63 types and has a total storage of 1024. This is where it gets a little confusing for some people. What this means is that if you were to put only stone in here, you could store 1024 stone and nothing else. But if you were to fill it with something that can't stack, like say a diamond sword, then putting 63 diamond swords would fill up the entire thing. And even though you only put 63 items, since they don't stack, you couldn't put any more. So stuff that doesn't stack, like armor and mob drops, that like broken armor, you usually don't want to store because it takes up too much space. And that kind of stuff just clogs the system. You want to filter to get that out. Now, something that is useful is, as you can see, we can see into the barrel, even though it's not a storage disk. Another use of the storage buses is that you can throw these next to any storage like that, and you can view it in the system. What makes this very useful is that I have all these other chests sitting out over here. So if I throw an ME storage bus on these and connect it to the AE system, we can view all of this wheat. We can view all of these crafting materials here. This is mostly sugarcane. And then we can view all of this from the crafting terminal, which makes crafting stuff a heck of a lot easier. I will no longer have to run back and forth to get everything done. We can just do it all from a centralized location, which means you can all stop complaining that my storage is really bad, because I know it is. But once it's all centralized, it doesn't matter how bad it is. It was all leading up to this point. It only took 20 or so. Are we on episode 20? Actually, no, this isn't episode 20. We're past that. It took many episodes, but we finally got there. And this is my favorite part of any mod pack, is building the applied Energistics system, because it makes doing everything so much easier. You can pretty much use it to autocraft anything in the game. There's very few things you can't autocraft. One of the things you can't autocraft is actually this guy right here. Applied Energistics really doesn't like crafting. Where is it? It really doesn't like crafting that involves take 1 redstone, get 2 redstone. It really doesn't like that. It thinks it's really weird. You can still do it, you just have to, it's a little more convoluted. Luckily, it does give you the guide on how to set that kind of stuff up if you need to. But in the meantime, I'm your host, Hamis28, and I'll see you guys next time.